through Europe, and consequently, because Europe was colonising the rest of the world, through the world.
Well, we're not going to argue it now because you don't have
I know.
a bottle of whiskey
the
rest of the night to do it.
But I don't think people fully comprehend just how important he was to world history.
I'm not saying he's not important, but anyway, we're not going to...
influential into today's world, because you name any part of the world and I could link it back to Napoleon easily, quite easily.
Anyway.
Okay.
So this film looks at, so you see him just before he's exiled.
Yep.
And all of his commanding officers are going, just abdicate, save us all, get out.
There.
And so he goes, fine. And he abdicates.
He finds... He doesn't have... Paris was totally surrounded by...
Oh, yeah, I understand why. He had
nations.
no other... It was either get yourself totally
he
attacked
couldn't
by
raise
everyone
an
else.
army, and there was armies that were going to force him out.
No, I get that. So he goes off to...
the island of Elba.
That's right, for 10 months, and then he breaks back with his 1,000 soldiers that they let him have to serve him or whatever.
Yep.
Which is weird that they'd let him have that.
Well, you see, he had been an emperor, and... It's a funny thing. Kings don't like to... how can I put it? If you start just killing kings like they're common scum in the streets...
then they can do that to you as well.
That's right.
Okay.
And so, consequently, you've got to
treat them how you'd like to be treated.
Treat your heads of state well, because one day it might be happening to you. And they were very conscious of that at the time.
Anyway, so he gets out and comes back. And so this film looks at him coming back, getting France all excited again, and going back on trying to take over Europe, even though he had failed before. So, and he's against Wellington, who's got Prussia and England and all the Allied forces together.
Yep.
So, and this was shot mostly in Ukraine,
right,
during 1970.
Excellent. And that's why they got all the lovely rolling hills and everything like that.
Well, actually, they demolished 2 hills for this film to make
it as close to
make
Waterloo.
it like Waterloo.
Well, you see, the thing is, Waterloo is very well known as a battlefield.
So they actually destroyed 2 hills.
Yep.
On this plot of land that they were given
to make it work.
To make it work.
Yeah, that's extraordinary.
So
there was no holding back in this movie.
The USSR basically said, here is 15,000 soldiers. Mm-hmm. Here is 2,000 cavalry with horses. Mm-hmm. They hired 50 circus people and 50 trick horses who knew how to fall, etc. I went and looked up whether any animals had passed away in this, or people for that matter.
Yep.
Couldn't find any information.
Well, it's Soviet Russia.
Well, I just went,
That's why they did it in Soviet Russia.
It's very hardcore.
When they went over that, you cannot tell me that when they went over the lip of that drop and you saw living horses falling
that was awful.
30 feet down onto hard ground, you cannot tell me that they did not lose hundreds of horses.
But the thing is, they're falling on people too.
That's right.
And I'm like...
But they're only Russian soldiers.
Wow.
Yes.
It just did my head in.
Yes.
But you know what was funny? As I was reading all this information, there was like a bracket going, Sergei, who's the director, Bondarchuk, had the 7th biggest army at that point because they'd given him this many people. So he was in charge of the 7th biggest army in the world.
Yep. It was enormous, wasn't it?
But it looked at some of the scenes were amazing, like when the horses, the cavalry of the French are running around when they've got the squares of the...
This is why I love this film so much. It's an extraordinary feat of cinematography.
But what is weird is there's only I would say there is 10 minutes of this 2-hour film that are just amazing. And the other 2 hours for me...
Is filling.
Oh, there's all these intense looks and soliloquies and whispers as they look.
Can we talk about Rod Steiger
intense
for a second?
eye expressions and breaking the fourth wall to look at the camera as we're giving a soliloquy. And I'm like,
no,
what?
Come on, be fair. He never broke the fourth wall.
He did.
Did he?
Very early on.
When?
There was a whole thing where he's looking at the camera as he's talking. It was at the 18-minute mark or whatever it was.
He was dictating letters.
No, but he was... No. He was looking at the camera.
Yes, but he was dictating a letter.
Well, do you know what? It made me feel uncomfortable and I didn't like it.
Well, okay, but
He was looking at the camera going, blah, 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 blah.
It was playing with the fourth wall. It was brushing up against the fourth wall, but the fourth wall was not broken.
It was. You should have felt it. Go back and watch it again.
How many times do you think I've seen that movie?
Well, then you've missed it and not paid attention. You know why? Because it didn't have all the horses and all the men shooting at each other and all the big scenes that you really like. You basically tune out for the first 2 hours, don't you?
Pretty much. To take your analogy, that is horse shit. That is complete crap. He's looking at the camera, but his
eyes are right on the camera.
Yes, I know, but he's got to
talking.
But Pip, he's got to look somewhere.
Yeah, you don't. How many actors look at the camera?
That is a director's
Unless
choice.
They're talking to the audience. Well, I didn't like it.
Okay, that's fine, but it was not technically a break of the fourth wall.
Yes, it was.
No, it was not.
Next time you watch it again.
Trust me, it wasn't.
Carry on. Can I just say that except for those amazing shots, I found this film really painful.
I thought you might.
Really painful.
Yes.
Just long and tedious.
Yes.
And long.
But it was magnificent, though.
There was like 10 minutes of magnificent filming.
Yes.
And even the part where they're marching down, where I realise there's 15,000 men, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I always get cross. What was the film with...
did at any stage of the game...
Matthew Broderick.
And
Morgan Freeman. What was that film? Glory...
Glory, yes.
Yeah. Where they were just marching forward and getting shot and falling over. I'm like...
Yes.
Oh, gosh, I hate films like this.
Napoleonic warfare.
I hate that.
Napoleonic warfare.
I don't like that.
They did it for
stupid.
several centuries.
I know, and it still shits me.
They needed to do it because every other way...
They didn't need to do it.
They did because every other way got them slaughtered.
That got them slaughtered.
The cavalry...
They just walk forward like this, I'll get shot. Ugh.
Because... Can I explain this to you?
You've
just
explained it to me,
no,
Glory.
Well,
Glory, you've explained it. I've listened to it.
Yes, but you've clearly not picked up on what I'm trying to say.
I have, and guess what? I don't agree.
It's about morale.
Oh.
No, it's about morale. And I'll tell you why. The soldiers are not like today where they volunteer and they join an army and they train up and then they go off to war. The soldiers then were basically the sweepings out of prisons and things like that. They were forced at gunpoint into the ranks and they were held there at rank by sergeant majors who were more scared of them.
I know there's majors going, if you turn around, I'll shoot you, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly.
I know, I'm fully aware.
Yes.
I get you.
Right.
But I still hate watching it and it annoys me.
Yes.
Big time.
I can get that.
What did you think of the film,
Paul? That's what happened.
What did you think of the film, Paul?
It's magnificent.
The whole film?
The costume, the set is superb. Like, it's 1970s. They were both 1970. It was a 1970 film, and it felt like it. It really was very 70s.
Was it too? I'd almost say too artistic. He's gone too far.
Rod Steiger just acted the fuck out of that. Well past the point.
He overacted.
Can I ask this?
Yes.
Okay. Can I ask this question?
Go for it.
Do you think that was because he would have had to have you know how we've had this conversation about copying historical figures who are well known, like Winston Churchill.
He didn't do the hand in the shirt thing.
No, he did not, but he also did the hand behind the back thing, which Napoleon was famous for as well. And I think he may have thought that it was just a little bit too over the top. I know that sounds funny, but I think that might have been the case. Do you think that was a bad performance by Rod Steiger?
I think if he'd been on in a theatre on stage with nothing else and just him with a spotlight, he would have been really happy.
So you think it was more of a theatrical performance rather than a cinematography?
Yes.
A cinematic performance, I should say.
Yes.
Sake. Sorry, people.
No, we understood you. It's okay. We're all just going, it's okay, Paul. We understand.
We'll get through this one, and next week we'll be back kicking heads in.
Don't make those promises. You can't keep those promises. Don't tell people that.
Sure
no, you can't.
Anyway.
Each week is just a muddle of us.
It's just
going
a muddle.
Blah,
Each
blah,
week
blah.
is, you got that right the first time. Each week is just a muddle. But look.
No, do you know what? He could have been on stage and I would have fallen asleep. Because it was too over dramatized, a lot of it was lost. If he just kept it a bit more real.
I'll be happy.
I would have been really happy.
I'll be happy if you give it a 3 and above. I'll be happy with that. But if you give it a 2, we're going to have a fight.
I'm not.
We're going to have a fight because it's not a 2, even by your standards.
I have not. Have I given something a 2?
No. I'm just giving you fair warning, girl. It's just fair warning.
This was better.
I love this movie. You know I do, obviously.
I know you do.
But not for the reasons of it being a good movie.
You just love the 10 minutes of amazing up on a helicopter filming all the horses sweeping around.
And it's the same with Apocalypse Now. Nobody watches that for the whole movie. Everybody just wants to see the assault at Da Nang, with the helicopters come rolling in. And Wagner gets rolled up. That's what everybody watches the movie for. And then they'll sit through the next 3 hours of the movie just to justify saying, well, that was terrific.
Don't you ever put that film up?
Oh, no, it's coming.
No.
It's coming.
Do you want me to be really cruel?
I don't care if you eviscerate Apocalypse Now.
Okay.
Because I'm happy to defend that because I think it was a masterpiece.
Oh, fuck.
I do, and I'm happy to defend that. That's fine.
You keep putting up these films and going, oh, they're so fabulous, and I'm there going, what are you doing?
I cannot tell you how much pleasure I get from watching your facial expressions, trying to contain yourself and be polite about these movies.
Oh, look, I can sit through this film. But I fall asleep in most of it.
Yep.
The scenes where the cavalry are riding up and they're trying to sweep around all these
and they're sitting on the back of the ute. Yeah.
But everything else of it was a bit.
Wasn't it huge though? Wasn't it epic? Now, if any film deserves to be called epic, that's epic. So can
I just say the very last scenes where they're picking up all the dead? Gosh, that would have been hard for all those men just lying in the mud. Because most of them
Russian
were actually
soldiers.
men.
I think they're
most
used
of them
to
were actually men.
Yes.
There's one guy
There's no CGI.
see. He's blinking. He's trying not to blink.
He's
and
trying not to blink. It's because there's a horse shitting on his face, I think.
Well, there was a horse moving around near him.
Yes. And yes.
Oh, I can't imagine how many horses died and how many men might have been hurt so badly that they died.
It is a great shot, but it is a cliched shot.
Which shot?
When they pull back, you start off with the guy as the focus and they pull back and you're just left with a tableau of bodies.
Oh, yeah.
And they pull further and further back. That's been done to death. And you know who started that?
Who?
Gone with the Wind.
Oh, yeah.
1937 or whenever it was.
Well, I mean, if you've got that many people, why wouldn't you?
We should do Gone with the Wind one day.
It's a very long film.
Oh, God. 4 fucking hours.
But I didn't like how Wellington, he's been such a bastard the whole time.
He's not a bastard.
And then at the end he's like, oh, but now I feel really tragic for all these people and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, gosh.
No, come on.
No.
I'm a study of Wellington.
No, I'm not talking about Wellington in real life. I'm talking about Wellington as depicted in this film by Christopher Plummer. I mean...
Okay, that's fine.
I'm not talking about Wellington in real life. We're looking at this film, Paul. I know you're being historic, but guess what? This is a film.
I know Wellington
it's not
very,
real.
very well.
Paul, this is a film. I'm talking about the film. I'm not talking about real life.
That's fine. He always displayed an almost autistic coldness towards people, but...
Did you meet Wellington? Oh, wow, I didn't realise you guys were chums.
I have read a great deal of books and literature.
I didn't realise you guys were buddies. That's amazing.
Are you done?
No. Come back to the film. We're not talking about Wellington in real life.
I'm just saying that I'm telling you that he did the character as he was supposed to, because there's a great deal that's been written about Wellington and his mannerisms and everything like that.
So he was a bastard and then suddenly he went,
he was,
oh
but
my gosh, I feel really bad now about all these dead people, even though before I was quite happy and didn't care.
Just about all of his script of all the things that he said has actually been written down.
Including the last bit?
Yes.
Right after the battle.
It was a quote. It's a famous quote of Wellington's where he said, there is nothing sadder, other than battle won, the saddest thing is, other than a battle lost. Not knowing
anything about agriculture?
No. Oh, beans. The quote goes, next to a battle lost, the saddest thing is watching a battle won.
Having a battle won.
Which he genuinely said.
Well, can I just say, the way it was acted was a real flip that to me wasn't appropriate for the way the character's been played out.
No, I know that would be discordant, but that's what he was.
I'm just saying...
Yeah, some people, sometimes, you won't get them, but doesn't mean to say that they simply